It's getting intense. I just picked up a random song that I could stream and still earn money on YouTube because I'm him. Hello and welcome back to another match review, everybody. Today we are going to be doing the week 1 match between the two French teams, R22R and L9o. Hopefully my mic is picking up. Yes, it is. So we're just going to get into it because I don't have as much time as I did yesterday. We are just going to... hopefully this flips to the right. Okay, there we are. Hopefully you guys are all having a fantastic Tuesday. Okay. And just know LeBerge is the only one in chat. That's okay though. He will be watching. So yeah, so SME checkpoints. This was a fun match to cast. But checkpoint, I know I did this one a few weeks ago with I think 263 and OnlyFins with 263 taking that. But I was on the Allies side, so I can maybe speak a little bit more towards the Axis and a 49s format, so a lot more action. Our first 49s game that I did cast this year, or this season I should say. So nice little start here. I don't know why, from R22R's sake, why they have 2 supply trucks so close. The issue that I have with that is, if this SL or this commander or whoever's in the supply truck will build this garrison, I feel like it's kind of useless to have this truck here then, because obviously you're going to build a garrison there. I should probably switch to green, build one there. You'll probably build one somewhere around Ruin, probably build one up there. But like that kind of negates this person. Mid truck got stuck in middle HQ. There's no, I'm talking about supply trucks. Like you have 2 supply trucks. That's my issue. Is this truck should honestly be more so, I think, up here towards like the middle part of the map, just because like you're wasting a unless you're building a garrison right here, then it makes a little bit more sense. But at the same time, like I guess for timing purposes, if this one just beelines up to here and builds that, that's fine. But overall, not a bad start. Hero trying to snipe someone in the recon tank. That's a typical snipe spot, but you do have to realize that teams are probably aware, don't drive on the main road. I would almost probably prefer an AT gun right here, just due to the fact that usually the medium tank will take this road all the way down to Mason Dew Creek when it is checkpoint. I don't know if that snipe is even possible. One supply truck. Okay, so this supply truck is for the Belgians and shit right here. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Okay, thank you for correcting me on that. But as far as other stuff goes, it's not too bad. It's gonna go on the flank, so we'll just... I am not gonna hear my own voice because I hate my own voice. We'll play back this at 1.75 times speed for the time being. And as you can see, Hero trying to get some snipes in. Don't think he gets anybody, but he is still going to be trying. I don't know if that's him or not. I don't know. Yeah, that's him. That's just maybe hitting the wrong spot. I'm just making sure. Oops, did not want to exit out of the screen. Rocket's still sailing, just a little bit too early for L9o. This is dangerous where I understand why this truck drove like from here to right here. It's to avoid this possible snipe right here. I just think it's still risky, because if they bring like the recon tank, because the recon tanks are just as fast as trucks and everything. So the recon tank honestly could have been parked like right here and would easily snipe that truck. But they didn't, so it kind of still works out for you guys to maintain that southern control, because like at this point, like you were exposed like right here to this angle, just right through there. I'm not quite sure where I think they do bring the recon tank. Maybe he was just slow. Also, you just have no hard cap as much as maybe you should. No, you have 2 SLs, 3 SLs. Not surprising that how this map is kind of laid out is this is actually like the midline. It's kind of like goes in between the road a few times, I'm pretty sure. So I'm not surprised that L9o did get there. And the goal for, you know, each team, like I always say on SME in general, not just Checkpoint, is to get to the other side of the road from your faction. So, you know, R22R doing good control in the north side of the point, and then L90 getting control in the hard cap. You know, it's kind of what you want. Obviously, L90 does want to maintain this control still, but you know, that's the goal. Either get it early on as much as you can, but L9o does have good reflank opportunity from the far north. Do love the hard dedication in the south from R22R. I think it's something that teams kind of need to do, is get that hard dedication into the south. Heard this commander misses their P strikes a lot. Yeah, so they do have 2 trucks in the south. What green did I choose? So good Geary network. I would still prefer to have like a backup one back over here. Just in case, you know, shit actually does go south, because, you know, maybe if you don't have this recon tank up here, they, you know, could have, you know, 1 or 2 people flanking around quickly, because teams do that in the 49s. They'll have like some sapper guy just sweep back here in the back lines, taking all this out, because, you know, it's a typical, you know, garrison layout, in my personal opinion. But overall, still a good start from R22R. L90 just getting crushed from the 2 or 3 story building in the north that is out of hard cap. Again, like right here is kind of like the hard cap cutoff, roughly. I think it's more so like right here. That's kind of like the line of the hard cap. So everything north side of this is all out of hard cap. Everything south of here is in hard cap, for the most part. I don't know the exact line. Very interesting to see. I mean, it's pretty typical that you do see, you know, 2 Stuarts in the opener. I just think this medium is playing way too aggro right now. I just think he is. He's driving up in the open. I just think that's just a misplay from L9o. Especially since, you know, you're going against the Germans, and German AT can still pen you to the front from some degree. I just feel like, you know, bring one of those Stuarts to the hard cap, like hold like right here. Just because you do, you know, cut off them trying to advance right there if you are L9o. I just think they just didn't dedicate any, you know, hard cap pressure with tanks, because it's pretty easy, because I think hard cap is like roughly this, I think is roughly hard cap. This is definitely all rough, but like even if you just set like a Stuart like right here, just somewhere in this section, you maintain a lot of control. You're probably gonna get shot by AT rockets left and right, but you can see all the people that did spawn back, because, you know, you did lose the OPs on front door of checkpoint. I don't know why there's smoke already being called down on right there, but there is on top of the medium. That's just, I do like the play with the smoke. Also, there's a Greyhound right here. So there's 4 tanks. I think I even called that on stream. There's like 4 tanks on screen, like right in that sector. I feel like that's just a misuse of armor. To be completely honest, usually like you see tanks like the starting mediums go back, but, you know, I do love the aggro play. I kind of understand the smoke already too, just to smoke up the tank crews, but at the same time, if a tank is already damaged by a rocket, there's no point of using smoke already. So R22R does get the cap. Yeah, whoever does cross the road usually will win the mid cap. Like, it's very rare. I mean, unless it's like SME, unless it's Church, and the Germans still cross the road, it's still, you know, hard. It's still hard to get that first cap if you're if it's SME. SME, Church, mid, or whatever. So you got the cap, just no garrison built yet. That's okay. Nothing too much to complain. OPs are looking good. You can kind of tell there is a gap up here for R22R, but they are probably going to respond to that, as the garrison does go up in the north and does get contested. Turn on this music a little bit because it's loud for me. This just small armor convoy of these 4 tanks. I don't know if one of the Stuarts are dead or not, but it just seems like a vast overcommit of armor. And St. Max building that AT gun. But, you know, L9o does not want to give up the South, and that's what you want in reality. I mean, both teams will focus on the South heavy. I don't think, yeah, like I was looking here if St. Max had a spot. I think he does see, I think, the Greyhound or the Stuart, whatever that tank is. He could maybe thread the needle. It's just hard with that fence. Like, you can shoot through that fence. It's easier. Like, I've done it when I'm the allies. You can shoot through this fence pretty easily if you are allies. It's just that when you're in this position, it's harder to, you know, thread the needle, hit your target. Yeah, like, he dies anyways, so, you know, he was trying to find him, just didn't get the shot off. You know, L9o doing a good job of just maintaining Wheatfield. Alpha Walk doing what you have to do. I would love to see him place a satchel. He would have got a satchel like on this hedge. I think that would have honestly, it could have flipped the game a little bit. Because it would have probably burned Occupied's OP. But Light will do it instead. It might have been a solo recon tank, to be honest. And then the P4, I feel like this P4 got away with getting this kill. It's just 2 unconventional spots. I mean, this is not that uncommon for a tank to kind of hold right here. This early in the game, maybe even. It's just unconventional for that medium. Where is the Axis medium? Right here. Just killed the... Oh, never mind. But still, L9o with good coverage in the south. They even got a rep station up. This has to be L9o's rep station. But then again, this is their only tank right now. I just feel like it's way too exposed because, you know, if this tank does die, usually you're going to die to an enemy tank early on. But, you know, this, you know, maybe this tank thought maybe he died to AT, so he's just going to play for the lawn shots. But, you know, this SL and JD even could have called out the P4 is coming to kill him, which he does get popped. Maybe a little bit miscommunication there from L9o. Recon tank in the back lines. I think I panned to this in just a second, but, you know, still a good line from R22R. Just again, I feel like they just need maybe 1 or 2 SLs in the far north, because L9o kind of had coverage of this grid square for, I would say, the majority of the game for the most part. And this is just fucking bullying, dude. Like, oh, I'm so glad I caught this on stream. Just JB Mack in Ohio, just kind of terrorizing all the tank crewmen, and then Nicholas has to get called back to kill the recon. That's insane. Early Airhead. This is something I think we're starting to see a lot more. From like every team from every division. As soon as the cooldown of the Airhead bombing runs come in, you're seeing a lot of early game Airhead and bombing run usage. Not saying that, you know, you're using those in tandem, but you're seeing a lot more of those being used within the first 15 to 20 minutes of games. And I completely understand it. Like, especially if you do cap first, you do maybe want to get people in the backline ASAP if you're not already set up. Now, one thing R22R could have also done as well is, instead of having this recon tank try to snipe the starting 76, is, you know, maybe drop off like maybe an SL or 2 somewhere back over here instead. You know, that's something that they could have done, but, you know, they dropped the Airhead. It kind of works out. You know, it's kind of hard to see in the map because of the map key But Airhead's in a, pretty, decent spot behind a bush. You would prefer to be in the bush, but you can only, do what you can. But little does he realize he spawned next to a garrison, so, always check the back line still. And that's an easy dismantle. Oh, nothing to worry on L9o's side. Now L9o with some backline pressure as well. I practice all day for it to be in that bush. I mean, I can understand that. Like, people do practice those airhead spots. Like, I do it all the time too. Like, I just try to find them. Like, I don't know exactly, but I have a very good idea of where to place airheads. If it hits the bush, cool. If it doesn't, oh well, it is what it is. I would say it's a little bit of a misuse of the bomb run. Good rocket there from Grim Q. Should have destroyed those supplies, which he will now. I wonder if he will destroy this rep station right here or not. Maybe he does. I have no idea. Tiger hiding in its typical spot. If you are going to build rep stations, you either want to build them directly against the hedge or somewhere back here. The reason being is you want the Tigers, and obviously 76s in their cases, to play all of this hedge. They don't want to really maneuver around this too much. Like, this rep station is good. This one could be adjusted a little bit. Obviously, when you're on the fly, it's better just to get one down anyways. It's like a garrison. You want to get it down whenever you can. It's better to have one than not. 100%, this guy's smart. I just play the game a little bit too much. Like, this is still good, but like, if he has to back up, like, yeah, he could probably back up and hit this and still be fine. But the issue is, if he's like, let's say a 76 is like right here and is pushing, and he backs up to right here, gets hit by this rep station, and he's out of sight. If this Tiger, wants to, knows that he has a shot onto him and he is maybe relatively safe, he could push to like this hedge right here and possibly get a shot onto him in the front and wipe him out. Now, he might have to shoot him 2 times because of the reps, but it's just those little things that could make the difference between, you losing the 76 or you maintaining that 76 or Tiger for, a little bit longer. The idea was to make a bunker with 2 rep stations, but never happened. I mean, I understand that, but that just takes a lot of resources. And when Artie's always going to hit down on that area too. Like, it's always going to consistently hit down in that area. So it does take a while for those to get built up. I mean, you have to build the bunker first. That's just a given. Like, you have to build the bunker first. You can't build the rep stations, then the bunker. Yeah. I mean, my goal in like a comp match, I don't think it will happen this season, but like if we ever drop to like a lower division, is to like Belgian Gate or Hedgehog and a heavy tank in like a place. I don't know what the fuck dies over here. Oh, just a Greyhound. L9o bringing up their first heavy, and I don't know if I think they spawned in this medium. They had to have spawned this medium in, just looking back now, right? I mean, no, they had I don't know. I don't care. I don't know if they spawned in this medium, but I don't actually disagree with spawning in mediums this early or this early into the game still, like a second medium. I think it's actually smart to do that. And I'll say why now, but I think if you actually win the starting medium fight, obviously both teams will have 76s at relatively the same time, but use a lot of medium light. I mean, teams are going to use, you know, the default tanks consistently, but I'm still not opposed, especially when the new tank update drops where you have a maximum of 2 heavies. You're going to see a lot of teams like, you know, do their like the openers and stuff for the first like 7-8 minutes aren't going to change. But when that tank update drops to 2 heavy tanks only per team at the max with that 10-minute cooldown too, I can see, you know, stuff develop where when both teams have their heavy tanks, having, you know, both teams also spawn in a medium tank as well, especially if their medium tank is still alive. Like if you win that medium engagement, so like let's say in this situation R22R still had their starting medium like right here and they still have that tiger right here, then obviously L9o, they're gonna have their heavy here, their mediums like right here. Like if R22R's third tank crew gets that second medium up, like they spawn their own medium, they have, you know, a huge advantage as far as armor goes then. So they can, you know, flex this medium to kind of play like another light tank, especially as Germans too. I don't know, it's just something to think about, you know, in the future when that update does drop for like the, you know, instead of the opener being, you know, the first like 7-8 minutes of a match, it turns into like the first like 15 to 20. Kind of when that second cooldown does come up for the 76s, just because you could probably do a little bit more damage with that second spawned medium in, if your medium is still alive. Draven unfortunately cannot mount on the Belgian gates, so he'll hip fire. I don't really have anything else to say. I'm not gonna spend too much on this because, you know, we've seen Checkpoint, we kind of know how Checkpoint plays. I might not pick Checkpoint until probably the last week of TPL, to be completely honest. Maybe SME night, I might do Checkpoint for another map. Just way too much Checkpoint the first week. So they do have a second Tiger up, but they also have a Lux. They have this. Well, it looks like their medium did end up going down. So they still have 4 tanks on the field. Gary Network is very condensed. Obviously, you did have one all the way up here. Honestly, a Gearson right here is probably one of the better plays, in my opinion, R22R should have done. And the reason being is this Garrison, it's not a push Garrison for La Mesa. Now, it can be for like a reset for recon or your sapper crews just to get in the back lines faster than having to run from all the way around here or all the way around from there. It's just better for resets back on the north. You know, because this Garrison, at some point, it's going to get, maybe it does get overwhelmed. You just never know how much a team will dedicate to a certain area. Oh my god, my mouth is so dry. Okay, there we are. Yeah, you just never know. Oh my god, dude, my mouth is so dry. That was a lot of yapping I just did. Love light with the flamethrower. I do love this play though. Just trying to clear out the area a little bit. And it's, you know, probably the most effective weapon in the wheat. Unless you just hip fire an MG the entire time. But grenades are just as useful. I do love how people are using smokes in Wheatfield still. I feel like it's something that people don't do. It's like, oh, I'm already covered. Well, it's like people still see you moving in smoke and shit. Medium tank goes down to, I assume, one of the Tigers. And then this was just unfortunate. This was just so unfortunate. Airhead is in a really good spot in the creek. I do like that. This Puma just made a mistake by getting hit by a HE or AP, probably an HE round, and it also splashes onto the Airhead. So a little bit of a misplay there, but they did have people watching it as well. Yeah, just, you know, that's just unfortunate. You know, it happens. I understand the Puma was trying to protect the Airhead, but L9o is Airhead. Again, I think this is still a fine Airhead to deploy. It's in a relatively safe-ish spot. You know, and this is like one of these Airheads where, like, you know, you kind of freak out a little bit that you don't exactly know where they dropped it. And that's like a scary thought. but I think R22R does a good job of just clearing it and finding it. Or finding it and clearing it. It's a better terminology. Just for Ohio to screw it. I mean, it's aggressive. You know, you've seen 3 airheads in the first half hour. I mean, it's... You know, I know, like, in the lower divisions especially, like, airhead usage is a lot more common than in Division 1 and even, like, Division 2, but you're already seeing it from Division 1 and 2 teams, like, starting to do those early game aggressive plays. And it's, like, something that I think comp does need because it's, you know, very stalematey. Like, this game was, you know, pretty stalematey for the most part. But, you know, sometimes that's, you know, how the games are played. I think right here I had the P or something. I have no idea. More flamethrower action. Take a look at the map real quick. Yeah, like this is fine. I feel like the Church Gary is kind of pointless, to be honest. Like you could just put an OP there and be okay. I would still prefer a Garrison up in that cornfield, that wheat field up there. I just think it's a little bit better of a spot, or even a Garrison, like a red zone Garrison all the way up here, or even like over here. I just don't know. Obviously, I didn't go that much in the north, but you know, maybe there was some. I don't know what this bombing run was, but I understand the reason why. You want to get more advancements through the wheat. It's just that the wheat is the wheat. Like, it's both teams are going to get artied the hell in it. Like, most common spots to get artied are this wheat field and this this waterway. That creek, I should say. I think checkpoint favors the Axis way more than the Allies, and I don't feel like people realize that. Like, for the opener, it favors Allies, but after the first 10 minutes, like, it's all Axis favored, in my personal opinion. Because if I switch to the map in a little bit, I'll kind of explain my own reasoning behind it. Like, I love checkpoint playing on both sides of it. I think it's one of the most fun points to fight over in pubs and in comp. It just sucks to fight over as allies, especially if you're in L9o situation where you actually have to really like muster through the wheat field. I just love this, dude. Just the wheat field prone fighting. It's just a grindy of a point for allies. I know in 22nd we did a few scrims on SME checkpoint this off season. For some reason we just played so much checkpoint for I don't know why, but like it's such a fucking fun point, dude. I don't know what this bombing run is or whose that was from. Yeah, so like for just in general like checkpoint stuff, allies I feel like get screwed no matter what on checkpoint because you either get Cemetery as your midpoint or you get LeMason Du Creek, and neither one of these are really fun to defend. The main reason is the hard caps on both of them are basically on the front door. Like, that's why, like, whatever this point is up in the north, I don't know what it's called. Nor do I care. But, Cemetery, if L9o got Cemetery, I think it would have been a little bit tougher in this game for them to kind of come back. Just because, like, you know, right now, R22R could be starting, like, a good, you know, push. They have, you know, 3 SLs kind of, like, on the front door of Cemetery. And, you know, if one thing leads to another, they find a Garrison up here, they find the on-point Gary, L9o is kind of screwed because they're going to have, you know, a Mason Du Creek Gary somewhere right here, a Garrison right there. Typical Garrison layout for Mason Du Creek, or even Cemetery. For checkpoint layout, at least. They could have a backup one over here, but even then, like, these two Garys, it's a very long run to the hard cap. And it can... Cemetery is one of those points where it flips rather quickly. But, you know, when you do lose those 2 points, it's very hard to hold them as Axis because you get so much hard cap or soft cap pressure at times. But it's still hard to take them back as allies. I just defending those 2 points just do suck. Like, LeMason, like, yeah, it's good that L9o got it like all inline points for them for defense. It's just that Creek it's more of a tougher point to defend than not, from my experience. I think I said this in the stream as well. I don't like tanks on either team holding this main road. The reason is, if L9o wanted to, they could have just built an AT gun all the way by hospice and snipe this Tiger, and obviously, you know, vice versa, you know, R22R could have sniped their 76s if they were holding hospice or checkpoint. It just opens that opportunity. Like you're not gonna see it because it's like over 1,000 meters, but you know, you just have like an SL kind of stand by the crossroads over there and ping them like with soft pings. So that's just something to keep in mind. I just don't like when tanks hold there. They should just hold on their side of the road until they want to move up. I don't know why you need so many supplies here. You dropped it maybe some were misclicks, who knows, but he'll get the Gary but immediately dies, but you're just gonna rebuild it on top of his body. Now some good refrags, but they do know exactly where the we're not playing Legion, so no worries. But still, it's like just in general though, like teams are gonna start like doing that kind of things because teams realistically, unless they lose like a massive amount of players or a few, you know, key players, they usually just tend to get a little bit better. For the most part. Do like the Belgian gates on top of the hedges. That is, you know, key. I just, yeah. Like, you can kind of get away with it with this hedge a little bit, but not too much. It also, another reason why I don't like playing that hedge as, especially as Axis too, is the wheat field factor. So if I do like zoom out, okay, let's watch this real quick. Yep, that's just how it goes sometimes. One reason why I don't like holding the wheat field with these tanks, so like this tank is, I guess, gonna push into the wheat, which is a dumb decision in my personal opinion. You just never push in the wheat unless you know it's absolutely clear, but with smoke in the way, it's not clear. Like if this tank is holding this and is kiting these two gaps, if L9o like starts to gain momentum in the wheat field and this tank is kind of stuck here because maybe he's battling like a 76 on these hedges, you know, these guys, you know, you have, you know, 3 potential guys with satchels right now. If they outfrag all these guys and start pushing up this hedge, this tank, even like he can get proxy satchel twice and that tank is, you know, pretty much dead too. So you are prone, but they are, you know, bringing 3 heavy tanks. So for the most part, those tanks are relatively safe. I think right now, for L9o's sake of things, I think they just need to dedicate 3 more guys to the wheat. And possibly get some AT guns up. Like they do have one right here, but even getting some up map edge, like as a tanker, you're typically not looking for AT guns like this far at map edge. Like I would, you know, go more towards the actual like hedge line and stuff, but you know, you're kind of looking through these gaps. I think there's a gap over here that you can look through. Like you're just looking through the gaps for tanks to peek out. Yeah, like this gap right here. Like you're looking through all 3 of these gaps, and probably I think there's one, you know, that way as well. But even building like an AT gun, you know, right here, like you do have one, I think right here as well. Just trying to put a little bit more pressure onto those 76 or onto those Tigers would have helped. Even building one like right here, you know, it'll probably get destroyed because you're also building it right in the line of sight of, you know, essentially two Tigers right now. But you know, even then, like you're distracting the Tigers to some degree as one of the AT guns goes down. But you know, it's just something you have to do, especially with LeMason Ducreek defense. But this Tiger is just asking to get shot. You know, all it takes is, you know, a tank to peek out right here, get one shot, and then maybe an AT gun gets built up, and that tank is as good as dead. Yep. So like I said, like if they have like an AT gun like right here and they shoot this tank, that tank is dead. So just a little bit of a misplay from L9o, but you know, that's why I like doing these. Likes to pinpoint out some of these teams, you know, flaws. I do like how this recon tank is defending their backline though a little bit. They can't get seen from cemetery from there. Oh yeah, that is true. They do have an angle from cemetery. Another airhead in the exact same spot. Lucky me. I want to do these like throughout the season from games like Cast Caparzo. Here comes probably a missed P strike that I just like, completely ignore. Well, he hits the rep station at least. One thing I will say though about German like the Stukas is they are complete dog shit. They're terrible. I find the American P strike to be a lot more reliable. All right. You have one rep station here. You need to build more. Honestly, you should stupid rep station. Parcel. Honestly, if you're gonna have this like tanks like this, I feel like you do need to have like rep stations like kind of like all spread spread around these hedges. Or at least put them on this side of the hedge or like this side of the road just for, you know, tanks to back up and repair like throughout all of this. Because, you know, let's say this tank once, you know, let's say this, you know, Tiger gets taken out and I don't know, maybe R22R strat is to, you know, cover this position again. If he gets shot on his way there, you know, he would have to like hop out and rep right here, and then that takes a few minutes. But, you know, if you do have, you know, rep stations at least like all along that line, you know, you can get those reps in a lot faster. 2 times the chance to land. That is true. I don't know why that's a thing. But you also have to angle it too. That's the trick with American P strikes. Just unfortunate there from Tundra and OP5. Yeah, the American P strike is either really good when you angle it properly. I don't know what this Greyhound was doing. The 3-man Greyhound just starts splashing everywhere. Runs over white. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's why, you know, things happen in games like you just can't predict as well. Like, the American P strike is so shit. It's so bad. Oh, man. I'll say American P strike. But this is, you know, good control from R22R. Obviously, L9o trying to encapsulate them as much as they can from wrapping them. But, you know, this is good to see from, honestly, both teams. Obviously, R22R has, like, them in a little bit of a bind. But, you know, Wheatfield still under, you know, still being contested with. You know, the canal still being contested with. The only thing not really being contested is that main road. And trust me when I say this, you can get a lot with going on that main road. I've done it many times. So for American P strike users, if I do get on my map here in a second, if this tank is just, you know, chilling right here, and you know this tank is chilling right here as the commander, and you P strike in this direction, it's going to hit this hedge 9 times out of 10. It's just very unfortunate. One thing I don't get is if you get shot in a Tiger or a 76 or just any even tank fight, back up, because that should have been a kill shot. That should have been a kill shot. I was gonna say that when this Tiger gets a shot onto this, this 76 could have peeked out and got a sneaky shot, but that's just a risk play. Oh yeah, you guys built, I forgot, both teams built AT guns inside the wheat field, which I think is hilarious, dude. I do like this backline setup. I just think this is a little bit of an overcommit. The amount of dead armor during the Olympic cast, dude. That cast was my like the most fun I had casting a the Onlyfin 263 game. Was so funny just watching all the tanks die in the same exact field. I just going back to this game though. You know, good garrison layout. Just wish this garrison was up here. And I just feel like it's a little bit of an overcommit with 3 SLs back here, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 people in the backlines with regular OPs. That's a lot. As far as OPs go. If this was a 6-man squad, that's maybe a different story. Backline pressure didn't help us start to cap fourth. Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like, you don't need this many SLs back here. Like, if anything, you just need at most 2. Just 2, maybe 3-man squads is better. And then, you know, maybe Delta's OP can be flex, like, I don't know, at Cemetery, I think is a little bit better of a spot for it. But even then, Cemetery could get, you know, that could get easily burnt. Yeah, there's an AT gun in the middle of a field right there. I don't know. It's just kind of random, but I kind of love it. Like I said, like L9o just sneaking up through the middle of the main road. Like, yeah, they're getting killed by doing it, but like it's something you just have to do still. Speed this up ×2. Checking some. I don't know why this tiger is in the middle of the wheat, dude. It's such an odd play. I understand you want to put up pressure, but you have to do that with all of your armor. That was insane. I feel like you should not push, like you just can't push up armor. This is a good play here by this SL. You shouldn't really push armor through this wheat field or any sort of wheat field unless you know you have total control of it. Because, you know, if you're like, there's like a trench right here. Maybe I'll show it on stream. Yeah, like if you get to this trench as R22R, then maybe push up your armor if you have armor advantage. Because the last thing you want to do is push up and then you get peeked by a 76 or 2. Rufflepuff doing rogue shit again. I mean, I feel for tankers. I feel like it's very boring. Good map layout. You just have to realize that you shouldn't dedicate so many people into the north. I think it's fine. It's just that when on point Gary is flashing and the door is kind of open and there's just one OP, if that OP was lit, I would get very nervous if you're R22R. But now R22R starting to break through that trench line that is, I feel like, so key. They get a satchel onto the 76. I mean, not much this tank crew can realistically do. Because he is getting harassed from infantry. I mean, maybe you try to get out of dodge, but even then, like, you're gonna get caught by one of these tanks back here because you just know that they're just waiting for you to move. So it's just a tough spot for that tank crew to get in. JB Mac, just place the satchel on this building. Yeah, now you're starting to see those SLs actually play into a factor, which is maybe counterintuitive what I said. I just feel like it's still an overcommit. Kills an SCG but doesn't check for his satchel. Good play here from JD, getting that airhead. Hickory with some missed shots. Honestly, wait, do friendly grenades kill airheads? I don't think they do. Because maybe if Hickory would have thrown a grenade onto the airhead, that could have saved it. I forget. I know like if you place a mine on an enemy airhead and someone explodes on it, that destroys the airhead. Same with like a bomb run too. So friendly grenades do kill airheads. No fucking clue. Oh, maybe disregard what I said. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, this tiger, like, what are you doing, buddy? That was a good fake satchel from Nicholas, though. Well, I'm definitely making people prep airheads now. That tank die? I think that tank maybe got satcheled by Nicholas. Did he blow up? He'd had to have blown up. Oh, he'd most definitely blown up. Yeah, that's just a bad tank play. It's just playing way too aggressive. Like, if you're gonna play aggressive on this point, just bring the tank, like, right here. Or, like, hold, like, right here. You know, splash into here, splash back here, splash back here. It's like all you have to do. Eh, I don't want to critique the map too much, maybe. L9o is still holding on. Defense was really strong right here. Didn't get a satchel down. Very clutch. Protecting their, I think, lone 76 at this point. But this tiger just in a rough spot. Does get the satchel down, but Hero does recognize that, calling out to his boys. Good team play. I would not hop out if you're golden. Whoever was gunner, like if Chip was gunner, I would have stayed inside the gun seat. Like you can't completely abandon a tank. These tigers are ruthless. I like as a tank crew, like you always, like, even if you are satcheled and both your guys do hop out and they do die to that satchel, you're not going to do anything with a pistol realistically, like on either faction. Like that tank is good as dead. Just, you know, spray as many rounds as you can as the tank gunner, just to maybe, you know, get some free kills, you know, because every kill does count. Just don't hop out as a full tank crew. Just have the TC and the driver hop out. But, you know, kind of does work into their favor. Because, like, you never know, like, Artie could be coming down. And then it's even, you know, it's tough for that tank crew to get back to that tank because it's just a sitting duck. But R22R just flooding front door. I think one thing that teams really don't do is, if R22R just holds this and maybe sends a few guys to push this trench, the rest of R22R can just come up this canal and come up this main road and then push down from the south, or from the north to the south. That's just an easiest way to hard cap. And that's all you really need to do on Mason Dew Creek, is just to get in the hard cap and then frag people that are trying to push back towards the wheat field and push down towards Mason Dew Creek. Pretty sure at this point I just kind of think to myself, okay, good rockets. I don't know why the tank was faced backwards. To be completely honest here, because you can tell that this is the ass of the tank right here. That is the ass of the tank, and you just expose yourself. You just back up with the front. That's all you got to do. So I feel like if you still had that tiger tank, you probably would have capped this point. I lose frames here because Hell Let Loose is a fine and fantastic smooth running game. Because now, you know, you're losing Wheatfield, so now you're gonna get crossed down into here, you're gonna get crossed right here. You have armor coming up from this direct east. Like, yeah, you are half capped, and yes, you are doing a good job of not just staying in hard cap. It's just that this Tiger is pretty much borderline useless. It's just watching this, and yes, that is good, but that honestly should be the sole responsibility of these guys, unless this Tiger was over here helping you guys out. Because this Tiger, if he was instead on this side of the field, he would have had a cross on to that tank right there and probably would have capped the point. Yeah, because you can kind of, then the Tiger just dies to whatever. But like, he only had a view of this and then technically that. So it's like, it's not a good spot. It's an okay spot to be in. I get it. Like, I'm being super hypercritical about it, but just maybe a little bit of adjustments, because like, you'd also never know, there could be like a Tiger or a 76 up here that challenge this Tiger push. We switch everyone onto offense here. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea, to be honest, because you guys can just get bombing run and you kind of lose everything. Honestly, oh wait, I think you guys did have a garrison front door, did you not? I'm pretty sure you did. I think OP5 and White are about to build it. But again, like, L9o, control in the north. L9o, control direct east. L9o, control the direct south. You have to have one. You either have to have the north control or the south control with the combination of this control. You can't just like front door it, because, I mean, you can. It's possible, but you're not going to hold on to Mason Du Creek for that long. Yeah, like L9o just kind of outfrags everyone in the point. I think I just checked for backline stuff, but yeah, everyone just gets wiped off a point. They just lose their gunfights, or they just die to explosions. I think it's overcommit on this garrison. You really only need a 2/3 of these bodies that spawned here onto that garrison. Just 3 SLs at the max, maybe even 2 SLs at the max, because you still need wheat control. Like, you are losing wheat at this point. I don't know why Draven's on the AT gun, but I love it. He uses pressure per north and south control. Yeah. Like, you have to get one of the two, and seemingly how tough it has been, other than that one time the tank broke through the south, L9o pretty much held the south 90% of the 99% of the time. Like, yeah, they have north control, but it's not really established. Like, there's no OPs in the north. Like, Garrison's already gone, so like, at this point it's kind of a dry reset. Yeah, because now Wheat's getting recontested. More people are spawning on Garrisons and OPs, but, you know, it's a very easy spot to get crossfired in. Would have preferred a proxy satchel there. You just never know. This, I think, is way too aggressive of a play. Like, yeah, I think that Airhead was a little bit too aggressive, because you realize, like, this only works when you have this control and this trench control is when that will work, and maybe a little bit in the north. I just think that was way too aggressive. It was an easy shot for him to hit. You know, it's a chance play. Airheads are just, you know, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I just think that was just a waste of resources. You were honestly better off just throwing that in the bath. And like honestly, just I had to look at the map. Timing was off. It's not necessarily the timing. I mean, the timing was like if you would have dropped it 3 minutes sooner, I think it would have had a better opportunity of it landing. How many times did you drop bad airheads today? Dude, I criticize everyone on dropping bad airheads. Yeah, can I do a full map view? One. I mean, yeah, it was your only bad airhead of the game, but like if you would have dropped the airhead like back over here where you have been dropping them, I think yeah, like if you would have dropped it like back over here or even back over here, like it's better than dropping it on point, because when it's on point, more people do see it and it's called out, and it's more of a frantic call out, especially when it's combined with a bombing run. But even then, you guys like R22R still has good control, but L9o still not out of this game. Like they still have, you know, it's a half hour, over a half hour left, so they still have, you know, lots of opportunities to gain ground back and you know, potentially win the game still. A good fighting over SME Church. I feel like both. I have to look at the map for our. I know I. Not a bad play, throwing a grenade on a mine. That's what you like to see. That's honestly a smart play. I just don't think that mine would have killed anything anyways. Do love how you're moving up this road. Like I said, that road is so free a very good amount of the time anytime you play SME Church. Or not SME Church, Checkpoint. Like this road, so free. Like more times than people think. Unless there's like a tank holding this road, which does happen. That road is just always so free. Dying in the fast motion is very funny. Yeah, I put it on 2x speed because I don't want to critique an entirety of a 90-minute game with no comms from me, or double comms, I should say. What the fuck is that garrison doing? I mean, I actually don't mind that garrison in the middle of the field. I don't mind this. Bitch made. No, fuck that. I want to eat dinner soon. I don't mind this garrison in the middle of the field because it is being blocked off, and this, you saw the tank actually like shoot this hedge to try to kill this garrison because stuff doesn't render on console. But it's not a bad garrison spot, because if these guys were paying attention, like that's just an easy kill for Occupied and Terrell. Or Terrell, I don't know how to say his name, but you know, he gets a 2-piece. Dandy's there as well, but like if I'm Dandy right now, I'm calling in a precision strike onto that Tiger tank, which he does, and he gets it. That is a smart play from the commander. Hero or Bilbo does kill him. Like, excellent P strike. You know, he did cost himself a life, but you know, he did end up getting that P strike. So that was an excellent play from him. Very smart. It's smarter for you to ping yourself the tank than rely on squad lead pings, to be completely honest. I don't know why Smoke already is being called onto the 2-story house on point. Or whose Smoke Hardy that is. Yeah, compliment him. I mean, it was a good P strike. You can't argue with that, Liberju. Also, one thing, this is kind of for L9o and just, but it's in general too. Like, if there's like a tank that is destroyed on a hedge like this, holy glaze. um, it's kind of up to you if you actually want to destroy carcasses. I tend to want to destroy carcasses because, you know, where this assault player's playing, he's using it as cover. And I think you saw that yesterday too in the when I reviewed the Roth's SAP game. Roth's used a dead carcass of a tank for decent cover as well, just to maintain and hold ground. This could have been bad for R22R here. Yeah, like when you lose complete control of the wheat field and OPs are starting to get drops like left and right, like it can be really scary when that does happen. Like once you lose control of that wheat field in the south, like it's hard to get that back. It's super hard as Axis. Much easier as allies. The only advantage on this point for allies for a checkpoint is literally the wheat field in the south. But other than that, this point sucks for allies. And you got this front door garrison up again. I just feel like since you are getting kind of fucked in the wheat, like, and you have this many people attacking La Mason, like, yeah, you could maybe start cap pressure, but there's also no on point carry. So, and you drop an airhead too. As long as you have that, you know, front door pressure, you're kind of okay. Lucky to have that OP in the south, which is very good to do. Checkpoint and chapel in between area. Rat City still being contested over. I think Occupied gets a good OP. Like, I actually don't mind, like, if you spawn right here on this garrison or here in general and just run this way. If no one's watching that, like, go for it. I don't mind that MG spot from Zombie. But then Grim Q kind of, I think he destroys the garrison. I have no idea. I think this is when this P4 comes in so clutch later in the game. Kind of scattered here. Yeah, this is starting to look like a pub lobby, a competitive pub lobby. I mean, you're still fine. It's just that you don't have the areas that you used to have 8 minutes ago. I mean, it's still okay. Still okay. Everyone loses their mind. Good use of a recon plane. Flamethrower from White and Wolf Creek. White just fucking blind firing, sets himself on fire. And then dies the Artie. Well. God, my fucking brain hurts from this. Yeah, no shit. You don't win by saying you won. And this is when L90, I think, makes their kind of their play of the game, bringing up this 76. This is where they make at least one of their plays. I forget what happens inside the 10-minute mark, but them bringing up this 76, I feel like is so aggro. But it's like, you know, you have to get some momentum going for you. And I do understand why they're doing this play, because they just want to like change the pace of play by bringing up a Tiger or a 76 this aggressively to this wheat field, because they just want to maintain this wheat. I think that was their bombing run. It was their bombing run, I should say. But then he's getting shot by the medium. This medium comes in so clutch right here. Such a good play. I just don't understand how that's not pained by anybody on L9o's side. Because that's just a free tank kill. Oh, nice stuck supply truck. On point, Gary does get taken out, but like Wheat starting to get overrun. They still have coverage of a Tiger at least. And I think that this was the mistake that L9o made in this game, is that that tank pushing map edge instead of pushing right here. Because you kind of seen it all game, L9o wants to control the Wheat. They want to get full Wheat control. But if, you know, you're over an hour into the game and you really have been contesting it and or not having it under your control for the majority of it, might want to flip something else. Maybe send a Stewart there instead, and then maybe push a 76 onto this main road. Just to, you know, change something up a bit. Like, yeah, you're gonna get shot from the north, you're gonna get shot from this this creek right here. But if you just kind of push, you know, the armor along this road or even in this field, you know, it makes the enemy think and, you know, shift their manpower to that. They have to attend to that issue because now that medium tank is dead, probably to this 76. So now if, you know, instead of this 76 dying over here, he's pushed up right here, potentially even pushed up into hard cap, that becomes a threat to this Tiger and that Tiger. And I mean, there's obviously infantry all around, but, you know, you never know with armor, like the presence of armor, you know, eyes, you know, shift towards that and not so much towards shooting infantry. So maybe frags go back into L9o's favor in that point. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. Yeah, because this is when it just becomes kind of a jumbled mess, and you can kind of tell that L9o is trying to get desperate to kill these tanks. Good splash. Golden and the other guy hops out, checking for satchel. Realize he's getting shot, but then runs over both of them. Oh my god. What an unfortunate play. But, you know, you rather, you know, run over both your teammates than having your tank die. And now that 76 is taking hits from Rufflepuff's tank. But this is where having that other armor unit comes into play too. Because, like, it just sucks that they drove up that it was just an aggressive push from that Was that a P-strike? Or was that a strafing run? I don't know what the hell that was. Hold on, I'm gonna check that out, dude. What was this? Was this a P-strike or a strafing run? I don't care at this point. Whatever it was, it didn't do anything too significant. Or even driving a tank on this main road. That would have fucking thrown R22R for a loop. Just have an armor convoy on the main road. Just a completely decrewed fucking Tiger. I think Cigarette does get a satchel on to the 76. Yes, he does. Unfortunately, he does get taken out. His crew does not realize that, and that will be a dead 76. A little unfortunate for them, but a good play from the Zapper boy. And right now, if you're L9o, you kind of, I feel like, feel deflated. But you're still not out of it. I just think at this point, L9o didn't. If they would have had something in the backlines in the last 15, maybe they do. I kind of forget, it's been over a week, but I feel like at this point they kind of need some sort of backline play. I didn't pause it. Yeah. Good. Like, I just feel like they needed something like right up here to still like apply pressure. Just apply pressure back here and to like right here, just to divert some of these eyes that are up in here or even back onto the on point to deal with that issue, because then that just opens up more doors for them to push back into checkpoint. Because like if you're looking at this map and you're R22R, you're just feeling good. You just gotta, you know, kind of park the bus. You know, there's no point of trying to go for Mesa Du Creek at this point. You know, just chill out. Maybe you want to throw, you know, one SL, or maybe throw in like a random Airhead to do something. Down goes that medium from the 76, or down goes the medium from the Tiger. I mean, not much that medium can do. It is a medium after all. It's a Tiger. Maybe it's do a smoke round at it. Oh my god, dude, my eyes hurt. Getting really aggressive with the tanks in the south. I mean, they're just trying to do what they can. I just feel like wait for more armor to come up just a little bit longer. Raven shooting rockets. Bill shooting rockets. Tiger shooting. And I think right here, like, forget if this 76 does die in the next shot. I don't think they actually see each other because of the terrain a little bit. Yeah, I don't think they do see each other because of the terrain. I think he ricocheted off of him, actually. And you can kind of see, like, there's a little bit where you can see each other's turrets, but it's not too much. But if you're this 70, if you're this Tiger and you're fully healed, you could like push up to like right here, as long as you know there's no threat to the immediate hard cap spot. You should be fine. And then here comes like the last second blueberry rush. Sub 10-minute blueberry rush. And there's a tank just getting stuck on a rep station right there. Like I said, like build up, like you have 3 rep stations right here, but like this one's just fucking up this Tiger's kiting position. Like these rep stations are really good. These two are really good down here, just because they're out of like the way of everything. Like if you want to go on the main road and like hold that, that's fine. If you want to like go back into this open field, that's still fine. Obviously they're just not built, but and Luke's just doing Luke's things. Wolf Creek doing a good job, gets 1 rocket in. And does get the 2nd rocket in. Does get taken out, but you know, good play from him. Smart play. I think rep stations get blown up by Artie. Yeah, and all of them die. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. Artie will happen, but they do have this rep station right here. It is good, good, good. More flamethrower action. But like at this point, I feel like L9o is just deflated. I mean, they're still trying, but I feel like they're just losing OP by OP. He's just firing the flamethrower everywhere in the field, dude. Yeah, just using smokes what they can. As soon as it like basically hits the probably 2 or 3 minute mark, I'll probably say my final things for each team. Yeah, I mean that's what all you have to do. Like when you're, sub 6 minutes and you still have like really good map control. I mean, if you know that they really only have a bombing run airhead combination for like a last ditch Hail Mary, like obviously be wary of that. Like still stay, vigilant. Um like this is the first time I've seen L9o in this building the entire game. Maybe they're in there like earlier, but that's like the first time that they are present in that area. It just, it's sub 5 minutes. And smoke already is landing. I don't like this airhead. To be completely honest with you, Liberju, I will critique you one last time about airheads. It's something I'm very, very familiar with. Don't place the airhead right here. If you're gonna place the airhead, place it back here in this courtyard, because if you somehow lose all of this in the next like minute, this airhead will get destroyed pretty easily, or just not be, it'll just be locked up if anybody gets into the house. Or better yet, place it somewhere down here in the south, like along this hedge line, which I think I do have in view after I do my map. Just place it like down like right here. Reason being is it won't get hit with a bombing run, because they're usually going to do an east-west bombing run, which will cover all this, making this airhead not get destroyed. If it does, it's kind of very, very lucky. So like, that's why I would put like an airhead right here, or maybe even down over here, just for a little bit extra backup on everything. Yeah, because you just see that airhead lands right in front of the house. All it takes is an L9o guy. If this was like, if these guys were all dead right here, if they were all dead, just walk to the house and that airhead's locked up. Yeah, I understand you still want to like secure 3-story, but you can see L9o is starting to make a little bit of ground too. Like they're just being desperate at this point. It's 3 minutes left, trying to do what they can with whatever they have left. Like it's still not a bad airhead. It's just that like also it would get bombing run pretty easily if they still had one in their pocket. Yeah, they all spawn back. Like that's when you see that happen in the last 3 minutes, that's usually a sign of the game's pretty much over. Unless these two tanks decide to absolutely destroy these two tigers, there's the game's pretty much over. So I'm just gonna let this play out and say my final few things in the last. Oh, that's quality of the stream. My final few things in the last minute or so of this stream. I mean, R22R, I think, played this like very solid game overall. I would say just make sure you build rep stations a little bit more smartly, if that's even like a real word in the Urban Dictionary. Yeah, just 90 minutes of pure pain. Yeah, it's just one of those games where like it's a grind fest and it just pisses you off the entire time. Just speaking of the game though, I mean, yeah, last second armor push for funsies. Just yeah, just a little bit better rep stations, and when you are pushing for 4th point, you guys got super aggro and it really sets you guys back, because then like 5 minutes after you guys got super aggro and you lost pretty much 2 heavy tanks, that's when L9o got a lot of map control back. Like they pretty much contested the wheat field until like the final, I think, like 5 minutes into the game, after they lost that other 76 in the south. And then for like the L9o side, I think just playing your armor a tad bit less aggressive would have been a lot better and maybe more advantageous for you. And then also just changing up like where your armor plays. Like you're gonna play your armor like around that little whatever I just drew shape throughout the majority of the match. But you know, you did have tanks right here, which I do like, but you know, you always would push your tanks through here. Like obviously there was that last ditch effort through there. It is what it is. But I would say, you know, and you did hold this road for like one life, but you got satcheled. You know, maybe just playing, you know, more so here, like mid to early game would have helped you guys a little bit more. But you know, that's pretty much it for this stream. Thank you all that watched, especially Laberju, Kimbo, Skin Shady, and Caparzo. Thank you guys all for tuning in and watching this match review of this week 1 game. Tomorrow I am planning to do the match I streamed this past weekend between 48th and Panzerleer on Kursk. I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the weirdest games I think I've ever casted, because it was Kursk on 30s and everybody was just everywhere, and it was really weird, but kind of interesting too, because I think it was one of the most interesting openers I've ever seen with four tanks in a 30s opener. Is insane. But that's gonna do it for me, and I'll catch you guys all later. See ya.